Radium Girls begins the second performance with an actor and two crew members missing. Nevertheless, as the spotlights focus on Juliana, Anna, and Emerson, the audiences were brought back to the 1920s in Orange, New Jersey. They will soon enjoy 2 hours of amazing performances by 33 students, 13 of whom are seniors at the school. The actors adapted flawlessly to the situation. This is how Broadway does it when it's missing a member. Stage manager Max read out the lines of the missing actor, and everybody performed as if they had a whole cast. You may have been to this show, or a similar one in the past. So how did the Radium Girls came to be? Undoubtedly, at the center of this show sits Mr. Ian Finley.
My name is Ian Finley. I am the head of drama. I am one of the founding faculty, so I've been here for 10 years.
Mr. Finley sees the most important thing as creating a community by doing something together.
So I think one of the best things about theater is that it creates community, right? By coming together to do a thing, we are building bridges between people and building a sense of belonging. But the trick is that you can't get there by going straight there, right? You can't say, I want to make a community and go and make a community. The way that you create a community is by focusing on building something together. And so what we focus on is this idea of professionalism, right? We're going to come to this show as if it matters, right? As if it's our job. It's not just going to be a thing we're doing for fun, but something that we are going to devote ourselves to. And as a miraculous byproduct of that, of really trying to do the show as best as we can, to really commit to the show, that's where the community comes from.
Mr. Finley knows that he only gets to work with each student for a number of years before they go off to college, and some of them may never become an actor, and that is not the purpose of his teaching. Instead, he tries to make the best use of the time that they spend together to teach them valuable lessons that will carry on into the future.
Every year, students I've worked with for 4 years go off into the rest of the world, and that's not a sad thing. That's the whole point, right? The point is that they go off. And so I'm very close with all of my students, but in the way the Epictetus suggested, and that is we love dearly because we know we're letting them go, and then they go off into that world. So I think that perhaps is what is perceived in the classroom.
Like what Mr. Finley said over and over again, you have to commit into the play, into each practice, to the moment where the light hits the stage, and to the moment where it ends. It is the commitment that immerses oneself into this whole experience and into what Mr. Finley calls what you're doing is what you're doing.
So this is stolen from John Gully, who is the incredible acting teacher at UNCG, one of the best acting teachers I've ever encountered. And the phrase is, what you're doing is what you're doing. And it seems stupid. It's a tautology, right? Of course it is. But when he says it, what Gully means is that when you're on stage, what you're doing is what the audience sees you. So if you're in a scene, it's a fight scene, and you're pretending to be angry at the other person, that's what the audience sees you doing. They see you pretending, and they know it's fake. If you're going to be in a scene fighting with someone, you've got to truly fight with them. You've got to really yell at them. You've got to really argue with them, because that's what the audience will see. They'll see a real argument. What you're doing on stage is what the audience sees you doing on stage. You can't fake it. But it turns out that phrase isn't just about acting, right? It's about all of life. That in any given moment, if you're going to do a thing, you may as well do that thing. If you may as well commit to it rather than going halfway. Because no matter what you do, if you commit to it, if you really do the thing, if you do what you're doing, it's going to be successful. Whereas, if you go halfway with something because you're scared or you don't know that you're not comfortable doing it, no matter how good the thing is, if you don't commit to it, it will always fail. This, I think, is the thing with so many students, is that they believe they have to have the right idea or the right plan. The idea and the plan don't matter. You can be enormously successful with a horrible plan if you commit to the thing. But with the best plan, the best resources, the best everything in the world, if you don't commit to doing what you're doing, you will never find success.
The most important part of any production and any practice is the reinforcement period, where students would gather together in a round circle and share about their thoughts.
Every student says something that was positive from the rehearsal process, and it is literally the most important thing we do. Nothing else in the rehearsal is as important as those last 5 minutes, because what we're doing from a pedagogical standpoint is we are underlining the lessons that we have learned and helping commit them into a deeper part of memory, but we are also reinforcing the connection between the members of the ensemble and one another.
And the students' performances, whether this year or in the future, are incredibly professional, and that they are remembered by all of the audiences. Their parents are proud of them, and most importantly, they have grown so much as an actor and as a person over the course of the semester. They are the shining stars.
This class, it's true almost every year, but this class is very special. The amount of talent, the amount of wisdom, I have learned so much from these particular seniors that will inform my practice going forward. So I hope that they can carry forward into their life some of what we've learned here. I don't teach theater because I expect my students to be actors or to be designers, but rather because there are principles, the commitment to the work, the empathy with other people that are useful whatever their lives are. So it is my hope that even as they forget high school and they forget theater and they forget me, that what sustains is the principle of the thing, that you can create something wonderful in your life. And all it takes, it doesn't take talent, it doesn't take ability, those are lies. All it takes is commitment. What you're doing is what you're doing.